All right. Are you like me? Maybe you hadn't been on social media in a while, and then boom, you turn on the television and see the explosiveness of Kanye West, formerly Kanye West, now Ye, his interview and the reaction to his shirt saying that white lives matter. I don't know about you guys, but I found the motive behind it and the interview he just did with Tucker Carlson, I found it to be extremely enlightening and cannot wait to unpack that episode with you, dive in and just talk about how God is always on our side and always looking out for us, and how we really need to tap in and lean into our intuition, because that's where the miracle is. That's where the miracles are going to happen. And so I believe that interview, this shirt, is a miracle, and it's going to open up the doorway to lots of conversations that are for the greater good. Of course, there's going to be some bad people, but for overall, it was an awesome interview, and I think it's a great shirt, and I cannot wait to unpack it with you here in this week's episode. So stay tuned. Do you want to live a beautiful life that reflects the truth of who you are? Be bold and courageous as you step into your heartfelt desires. How does trusting yourself fully and connecting with your soul's purpose sound? The Unplanned Mom podcast is a potent mix of real life stories, practical spiritual teachings, and a community to help guide you for eternity. This is the place for inspiration with down-to-earth tools to help you pivot and continue to live your best life beyond your wildest dreams. Here we honor your deepest, authentic truth, embrace motherhood, talk all things money, mindset, and most importantly, miracles. So are you ready to say yes to all of this? If so, then let's dive in. I'm your host, Ashley Bush, and I have been praying for you, and I cannot wait to get to know you better. Let's go. All right, so welcome back. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to have you and just share in this space and this moment in time and history to be with you. It's just really, really incredible. So I have really been striving. I don't know about you guys, just in the midst of this complete chaos that's going on in the world, trying to find and center myself just in a place of peace, because there are so many external forces that are at play in the world right now. It's not just only happening in my own personal life, friends and family members' life. It's happening in my church and my church family. And so I really wanted to just dive into Ye's recent controversial shirt, the White Lives Matter. I thought, it was just really an amazing interview. And I thought I was so happy to see the shirt. I mean, come on now. It's like common sense to the nth degree. All lives, of course, matter. So it's just nice to see some common sense out there, from a platform of one person that has a voice to reach so many people. I used to watch the news very regularly. And in fact, I watched Tucker Carlson on the regular every single day. It was very much a part of my weekly routine. But earlier this year, I'd really decided to, as God was really calling and placed this on my heart, to launch the Unplanned Mom School. The world just continues to get darker and darker. And my faith is just growing stronger and stronger. And so I'm really selective about how I feed my soul and the types of information that I put into my brain. And, this could be a whole other topic for a podcast, but if you look at the most successful people in the world, they're doing the exact same thing. We just cannot be surrounded by negativity, and we have to focus on things that fill us and fulfill us, that just fill up our tanks, make us feel good, and make us to really just be loving, kind, compassionate human beings. So aside from that, I was out last night, just a typical Wednesday evening here in my household, had gone to my oldest. She had a volleyball game. I came home, I'm giving the littles a bath and we're getting ready for bed. And somehow this nudge, this overwhelming sense it was God just, saying, just turn on Tucker tonight, put it on and watch it. And so I leaned into it. I thought, okay, I was going to rest. I was planning to watch a movie. I even had it on my calendar just to kind of have some downtime and really shut my brain off and just do something totally unwork related, anything related, just to kind of like just refuel. So it's been a long time since I watched a movie. So anyways, I decided to turn on the television and I watch Tucker. And I was completely blindsided, but I was so excited to see that he had Ye on there and that he had made this shirt that said White Lives Matter. And of course, people are really upset about this. I'm sure as I'm saying this, there might be some people listening to this being upset. I'm to the point where I just don't care. And it's so refreshing to see that there's other people out there that have the same thoughts and the same values and see how our family units are being destroyed and that this darkness and chaos is just surrounding us in the world. And so if you haven't had a chance to watch this interview with him and Tucker Carlson, no matter where you stand on your political beliefs, I'm telling you, it was a great interview. And he shares a lot about why he did it, his thoughts and beliefs just kind of on the world, his marriage with Kim, and, you know, his overall sense of Christian values. So I'm turning this on and I'm like, oh my goodness, like there's a reason why I'm watching this, because I'm listening to him. And I was really just blown away and mesmerized to see how God is using him. We are all, I think anybody that just feels any remote spirituality, we can sense and feel that we are in this deep spiritual war in the world. And so it was always at play before COVID. And now that COVID is, you know, it has engulfed our life and changed the way that we live. COVID has either made some people really fearful and not living their life the way that they should with their very limited time here on earth, and or other people are really diving in, growing closer in their faith, whatever their faith base may be, just knowing that there's a higher power. And for me, it's God, knowing that God is there and very real. My relationship with him is above all else. And that's who I serve. That's who I admire. And that's who forgives me. And that's who guides me. So God is just he's just a huge part of my life. And you can see God working in Ye. And it was just really, really amazing, because he talks very openly about how the enemy is just really, he's at work to just kill and destroy anything that is good and real. And I want to remind you guys that God is love. And Kanye said this last night, that God loves order. And they kind of stopped for a second during the interview and it was just quiet. And he said that this is what God likes. This is what God wants. He wants this stillness. So we need to just be still and be quiet and just revel in that greatness and that beauty of not having chaos, because that's where the devil loves to thrive. That's where the darkness thrives, is just creating this chaos and this mayhem. And I don't know about you all, but it's time for it to just be done. We just need some peace and love and harmony and, you know, all of these things that God wants for us. That's what we deserve. And we deserve to share that and express that and find that inner peace in the world. So I truly do believe that. So I was just so thankful to have turned on the television and watched this interview. And it was beautiful. I thought it was an interview that was well done. I think there's going to be some more footage coming out of it. Tucker had said the interview was scheduled for 30 minutes. They ended up talking for 2 hours. So of course there's a lot to unpack in there. And so as I'm listening to that, I did take some notes, and I was thinking before I went to bed and when I woke up this morning, I think the beauty in this whole interview and this whole eruption that has taken place, because he put those words on a shirt, is that the miracle is that you can pray and you can listen to your own intuition and know what's right and wrong for your own life. And so God uses, and God is miraculous in that way. He will speak directly to you. Now, Ye is a little different. You know, he's very different in the sense that he's a creative type. I think I fall more under that bucket as being a creative type versus a much more analytical type. But, you know, all different types of personalities. He has really tapped into his own Christian values and is feeling this pull to take a stand against the demonic forces that are within the world. And again, I know I feel it, and many people that I speak to on a daily basis and that I come in contact with feel the exact same. And so that's why I thought it was so important to just dive into this and to talk about it. Just dive headfirst into this topic because, the good isn't going to win if we keep sitting back on the sidelines and letting this nonsense and craziness and chaos keep coming to us. So, the Unplanned Mom School, again, just the content here, as I say in the intro, is, we're talking all things money, mindset, and miracles. And miracles is something that we just don't pay enough attention to because we're so busy, and the devil is so busy at keeping us preoccupied with many, many things. And so the one thing I want you to get out of this episode is that you are a miracle. You are a miracle that you are here, that you are born and living and breathing this exact moment in time in our history. I know early on in COVID, I felt so bad for my children that they were born during COVID. And I was so overwhelmed with, being just concerned and worried about them, and their childhood's going to be so different than mine. And I, started sharing that with friends of mine, and they said to me, you're here for a reason too. Like, you're here for, this is your time. That is their time. Like, we don't know what what the future will hold. But all we know is that we are all here for this exact time. Like, I am here in this time to be their mom through this and to help guide them and steer them. And so I just want that to be a reminder, you are a miracle, and, run away from things that are making you question and doubt yourself. Because, we're not meant to be here and spinning in circles and feeling uncomfortable and doubting ourselves. And I know that there's a lot of our listeners that are probably still working, in jobs where they have to hide this part of themselves. I can relate to this because I had to. I felt like, as time went on and I grew in my career and the world just started changing and everything started to get more censored. You kind of start to live in these two different universes, and it's really hard to be yourself when you don't feel like you belong, but you need to have a sense of belonging and community when you are working with your coworkers. And I think what's lost is that there's not this reciprocal give and take and difference of opinion anymore, and it's just attack. And that's done by design from the dark side. It really is. And so we have to be strong. And if we have to be in those situations, my encouragement to you is to really learn how to set up boundaries and parameters to protect yourself, because you are unique. You are exactly who God made you to be. And so if you have, you're staying with where you're at because you've got this great job, you need the finances, whatever the case may be, you have to learn to protect yourself and keep yourself safe, and just guard your heart and make sure that you're moving in a direction, though, that's overall about 80%, just more in alignment with you. So if you're at home, for example, get off social media. Get off social media. Don't be watching the news. Put a timer if you are on social media. I know I'm on there. I look probably like I'm maybe very active. I'm not very active. I mean, I do occasionally engage. I, of course, will engage with people that reach out directly to me. I might be a little bit late with it, but I'm on there. I make a point to be on social media just because, with my marketing background and experience in that regard, it's a great way to reach other people. And so I think there is this deep underlying sense of urgency and hunger to find people that still believe in family values and still believe that having a strong family, innately inside of you that that's all done by God's design. That is done on purpose and with very good reasons. And it's just so important, because when we have that, we make better decisions. We're stronger. We're much more confident. We have an army of people here on earth that genuinely want what is best for us. So outside forces will tell you otherwise. They want to destroy family units in every which way possible. And it's heartbreaking what is going on in the world, and we need more and more people to stand up to the nonsense and collectively come together and just say, hey, that this is wrong. I mean, our whole country was founded on God and basic core principles and beliefs that just built such an amazing nation, and to just see what is happening and how the enemy is trying to destroy it is heartbreaking. But I do believe in my heart that good will prevail. So, always take time to rest, nourish your mind, body, and spirit. I think too, I'm hearing it from many people, just in my circle of close friends and some family members. Everybody's just stressed out right now. Everybody's stressed to the max. Everybody's running in 100 different directions. Our kids' activities, we've got all these things that we feel like we should be doing. And it just makes life crazy for a little bit. And I'm all for having some balance. Every family is different. I've got, my oldest is in high school. Her life is a little bit busier now than my two youngest, but it all really comes down to balance and, really just looking to, again, surround yourself, come up for air. Again, know without a doubt that you are put here on earth for more, and really that God loves you. Once you start to realize that's really at the heart of life. And when you start to embrace the enormity of that, these problems, they're there, but they don't consume you like they did for me before I really started to latch on to God and feel his forgiveness, his grace and mercy. Did I really start to feel a sense of release? And so I encourage you. So if there's an activity that allows you to recenter to your higher power. So many years ago, 10-ish years ago, I wrote my first book, an ebook called Unplanned No More, a guide to an unplanned pregnancy. It's on Amazon. So I wrote this book, and it's interesting because as I've been, diving back in and looking at things for the Unplanned Mom School and really thinking, all of that advice that I gave, 10 plus years ago is coming full circle and coming back to me right now again in my life. And at the core of it was really being able to pull yourself out of a situation. And for me, it was always being in nature. So walking, so whenever I was pregnant in college, I had one roommate. Well, I had the best roommates, but one in particular, I would just want to be a lazy bum. I was tired. Early in my pregnancy, and then even, midway through it, I just wanted to lay and rest and do my schoolwork, but lay in bed. And she would come in and just be like a mother to me and rip the covers off of me. And she'd drag me out and we would go on walks. But I will tell you, she was right. She was right. And I'm so thankful that I had her friendship then and I have her friendship now. But it instilled in me that, gosh, even though we don't want to do certain things, we just don't feel like it, but we know we need to do it for our overall health and well-being. We just got to do these things. And, Jennifer, what is her name? Jennifer Hudson. She wrote a book about this early on in her weight loss career too, or her weight loss journey, excuse me. And so I read that book years ago. And two, I think of her when I start to kind of fall into my slump, when I've gotten off track and it's hard to get back on track with my exercise in particular. And I always just think of just taking baby steps. It sounds like it's not going to work and what's the point, or, you just feel like you need to go big or go home. But truly, those baby steps are going to make the difference. It's those little small actions, those little mindset shifts in your mind that are going to make all the difference and propel you to where you want to be. So to kind of wrap that part up, I just really want to say the bottom line is, and the big takeaway is to trust yourself. Really trust yourself, just recalibrate, find that space that makes you feel safe and makes you feel really close to that source energy and to your soul and your soul's purpose. And just and do that activity as much as you possibly can so that you can just feel encouraged and trust yourself in this chaotic world and just crazy, crazy times. So I really just hope that you see the miracle that you are and really find the good that is all around us. That the good versus evil, it's really just unfolding here within the world, and just hold on to the good. So if you are looking to surround yourself with like-minded women, I really encourage you to check out unplannedmomschool.com and look up my upcoming beta program. It's called SOAR. And so I'll be opening, we're going to kick it off here the first part of November and run through the end of the year. And so this beta program is really going to be a launch pad for just coming together collectively with women that are ambitious, that feel that these values of the Unplanned Mom School are very much in alignment with what you are and where you're at and your journey. And that you need to take it to that next level and be around other people that want the same thing. So in the SOAR program, which is SOAR, S is we really just start to evaluate situations. So I walk you through the process that I've been through to just be radically honest with where you're at in your situation, whatever that may be. Maybe it is an unplanned pregnancy. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's, empty nester. There's all sorts of things that women are dealing with on a daily basis. So we're going to talk through these situations. Again, I'll walk through that process for myself. Then we just take a step back, and O is for options. So what are the options? We're going to lay out, I'm going to walk you through a very simple process that I've used in my life to just share and talk about how we're going to look at situations. We're going to look at our options, and A is for action. We're going to make an actionable game plan for you and how you are going to make significant changes in your life. And it might be surprising to you because the action plan, you might do some things that are immediate, but what I have found through my own growth and development and being around like-minded people and people that are way ahead of me, like in terms of where I want to be in business and in my life, it's figuring out what action absolutely needs to be done to achieve your bigger goals. So and a lot of times it's shedding and it's cutting away things that are no longer serving you. So that's all in the A for action. In the last one is R, it's release. We're going to go through a journey of just releasing. We are going to be releasing the things that no longer serve us. And so that you really can soar into 2023, because I believe that 2023 is going to be monumental in the sense that the people that want to be well, get well, do well in the world, serve well, serve God, we are going to have to soar. We're going to have to continue to step out of our comfort zones and be elevated and encouraging, because I think things might get a little bit darker. It's always darkest before the dawn. So if you are wanting extra support and, just know that you were meant for more while you're here on earth and you're just at odds with trying to figure out exactly, what is it that you should be doing. I highly recommend you to come check out unplannedmomschool.com. The other thing I really wanted to mention is I have got a career kind of launching program that I'm working with and getting ready to share with pregnancy center directors. And so if you happen to work in the pro-life space or life-affirming resources, if you know of any pregnancy center directors, please put them in touch with me. I will be launching a digital course for pregnancy centers. So way back in the day, I have volunteered at pregnancy centers, and I know that money, of course, is one of the biggest things that we struggle with when we are dealing with an unplanned pregnancy. So I'm always trying to find ways to give back. I'd love to give back at scale and create a program that is a digital course for pregnancy centers so that they are able to share it with their students and then also have it, for lifetime access. And whenever we update it, they would have be available to get that as well. So that's going to be kicking off hopefully here before the end of Q4 officially. I'm just really starting to gather a list, but for sure. So anything that would start here in the rest of 2022, that'll be just kind of like bonus material, practice material. And then in next year, we're going to be really hitting the ground running. So again, anybody that that works, volunteers in a pregnancy resource center, please be sure to send them to the Unplanned Mom School and make sure that they can get on our list and just see what's coming up to be able to share with their with their clients. And then last but not least is I just want to share, because you never know who's listening. I've got a keynote and I can tweak things, just based on the audience, and have been sharing and talking to different groups. And I'm looking for, domestic abuse, pregnancy support, any women's conferences, anybody that's looking for speakers. So if you happen to be an event planner that's listening, or have a friend that's an event planner, I would certainly love the introduction. It just never hurts to just put that out there. So alone, this is one of my favorite quotes from Helen Keller. Always as a child, I loved reading anything to do with Helen Keller. I was just mesmerized with her story, her bravery, her courage, and everything that she overcame by being blind and deaf. She always says, alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. And so about a year ago, that quote really changed my life. I'm going to kind of go off track here and just share where I was about a year ago, because I think that that's important as I've really been going back and evaluating my own life and changes that I made in the last couple of years. I made a career change, and one day it all worked out by happenstance, but I really got to a point in my career and my life where after each pregnancy, I was really trying to get more clarity about what I should be doing. What I should be doing, who I should be serving. I always just knew as a kid that whatever I did, I wanted to make a difference. And so I do believe that every job that I've had in the marketing space, working in healthcare or the banking industry, then an ad agency, all of my experiences were really blocks, stepping stones to getting me to where I would ultimately be. And lo and behold, it was the job. Excuse me again. Oh my gosh. It was the job that I got last year. I was working for the Advanced Women's Expert Network, and that was a dream job. To the outside, it was an amazing startup company. I was blessed with the opportunity to get to go to the co-founders Game Changer event, which is Kelly Roach. And so she's a huge mega marketing guru person, and I got to meet the CEO and the other co-founder of the Advance, which was my direct boss, which was Laura Meyer. I got to meet her in person, and they flew me to Miami, and I was there. And again, this was about a year ago, and I flew by myself. I'm going out of St. Louis, getting away for a few days, going to Miami all alone, like this little small town girl. Here she goes. And, it felt so good. It felt so right. And I was so excited because this job was just like opening my eyes up to a whole new world, and this old Ashley that had been just kind of under lock and key because so much life had happened, and I started to really play small. And so I go to, I walk in, I have the cab driver, I get off the plane, the cab driver driving like 100 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I even going to make it there alive? Like, because this guy's driving so crazy and erratic, but I guess he does it every day. And I'm just praying in my head, silently, God, please let me get there safe. Oh my gosh, like, did I make a mistake? My poor children. This man's driving so fast. We got there. I got there. He dropped me off. I walked into Fontainebleau, which was the most beautiful hotel that I ever walked in, I think, in my entire life. It was stunning. I felt like I was like in Pretty Woman. I just stepped out, I stepped in and into this whole other world, and the vibrancy alone in Miami will make you just feel alive on a whole other level. But then being in there and being surrounded by people and listening to speakers and listening to entrepreneurs and people that were in the Advance, it really just opened my eyes to where I wanted to go and who I wanted to be. And I just was blown away. And probably one of the, aside from the energy and the excitement of being around these people and knowing that this is what I want and these are my people, and I know how important it is to be around people that truly get you, was listening to a panel of millionaires and talking about how they got to that next level of success and how they got to that absolute best version of themselves. And so this is one thing that I really admired. And if you listen to Kelly Roach, if you are a marketing professional, or if you listen to Laura Meyer, you listen to their podcast, when they're on together, their energy is just so phenomenal. But this panel of entrepreneurs were sitting up there, And then they were asked something along the lines of like, how did you get to this next level of success? And every single person openly shared and expressed that working through past trauma was monumental. Going to therapy, having coaching, getting real about where they were at. Again, I go back to that, being radically honest with where you're at, getting honest about things that have happened in the past, and then shedding light on it, and then moving forward to just step into their absolute best versions of themselves. There was a man on there, and he was just saying how he was stuck at a certain revenue level and couldn't get past this threshold until he went to therapy and worked through bullying from his childhood. And, now he was moving on and making tons of money and just helping people left and right. And I just was blown away and just, again, knew that I was surrounded and in the right room and around people. And so, but kind of tying and going back to the Helen Keller quote, that is what Kelly Roach uses a lot of her quotes as well, and she looks up to her. And I could just feel God in that room. And at one point, and if you follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn, but there was a picture of this, and I shared it, and it was just an image of, faith over fear. And that's really their mantra. And that's what a lot of these people, that's how they live. And we take these steps and we get courageous in our life when we're around others that are being bold and courageous in their lives, and they're looking forward. They're not stuck looking in the past. In fact, another really quick little analogy that I love, and I've just read it, I should say, but just moving forward in life in particular, think of it when you're driving. It's important to know what's in the rear view mirror. We're always kind of glancing, we look, we see what's there, but we can't drive looking in the rear view mirror. So, coaching, self-development, all of these things, you're looking ahead. We can be aware and acknowledge things that have happened in our past, and we learn from them, but we are moving forward. So if you are, again, if you're on this journey and things are starting to unfold in your life, if you're in a place of transition, you're unsure of how to articulate or articulating what you want and desire in your own life, then again, I just really recommend that you go to it's unplannedmomschool.com. Again, the link will be in the show notes just to the website. You can always send over a message. I do work one-on-one with clients, and that is by application only. So you can always just fill out an application. If there's any questions that you might have, we can, myself or the team will get back with you and talk about things. But really, that program, it's all about mentorship, accountability, really in an ear to just help you move the needle in your own life, because that's really at the heart of what we're all about at the Unplanned Mom School. And, going full circle, I'm always wanting to give back. So right now, the organization that I partnered with and am supporting is letthemlive.org. If you haven't checked them out, again, it's letthemlive.org. Phenomenal nonprofit organization. So a portion of the one-on-one coaching programs, a portion of the profits from that are donated directly to that organization, and they provide financial support to women exploring abortion due to financial hardship. So let's see, wrapping this up, ye really inspired me to just go big and put this all out here. So the big dreams of the Unplanned Mom School, which is really at the heart of just empowering women to be the absolute best version for themselves, despite whatever unplanned event has come their way. Inside the Unplanned Mom School, and even as we're building a community here on the podcast and just in these public forums, the goal is to just build each other up. We inspire one another, we trust God, and we strive to live in a world of peace, love, and harmony. We don't let fear rule us, and we are soaring into the future. So again, if you are ready to soar into 2023 and take a look at the beta program, then come and look for more here at the Unplanned Mom School. Absolutely would love to welcome you and chat through what all that entails. If you are looking for some just accountability and just a safe space between now and the end of the year, then I highly recommend and invite you to look at SOAR and come check it out on the website. You can always send me a DM, shoot me a message. Again, there's a contact form, an application. If you aren't quite sure, just do one or the other. It'll get filtered through, and someone, again, either myself, you'll hear directly from me, or someone on my team. And, as always, we're rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I believe in the miracle of you. I'm sending you so much love, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Okay, my sweet mamas, if you're tuning in and have got a friend's name that just keeps bubbling up at the top of your head as you've been listening to this episode, go ahead. I want you to grab that link, copy and paste it, and shoot them a quick text and just tell them that you are thinking of them. After all, we're all here to help each other. And if this episode resonated with you, there's a pretty good chance that something in it will resonate with them as well. This show is for you, so do me a solid. Go ahead, share it with that one person that comes to mind so we can spread the love to all of our sisters. And if you really, really loved it, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a review. All right, thank you, my sweet friends. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you all next week. And if you need any more inspiration between now and then, come on over and check us out on TikTok. See you soon.